we should probably transition into an introduction for this next scrim. So this is going to be uh, Part-Time Pirates versus Riptide, I think.
Yep. Riptide, a team I'm very familiar with, being my former team. So their lineup is going to be Calamar Cat, their supreme leader, along with new recruits Hero, Conjan, and Triple Ace 3. Would you say Ace 3 or?
I think we'll just call him. I would just call him Ace. How's that sound?
Yeah, sounds fair to me.
Because you're not going to find me calling people out as Triple Ace 3 during a match. I mean, if that sounds like me calling out my NNID, calling out something like "Take a Sickie" again on the Wii U. Every time something happens, that would get very tiresome. And Part-Time Pirates, of course, you got Chris, Jackie, Udon, and Chich. I know from experience that Jackie is a very capable sniper. Do not underestimate Jackie.
No, not at all. She did have some very nice snipes on Inkjets earlier in the first match versus Proxy.
Yeah, she's got good positioning, knows the places where she wants to be, and again, my tactic for snipers is always going to be to disrespect you until you actually start getting shots on me, and that's when I'll start to play as if there's a charger on the match. So Jackie made me play like that, if that's any indication. And we're going to start our first match at 456, 455 on Port Mackerel Splat Zones.
Yep, we're pretty good. Calamar Cat with, what's that? Julie's. Splat Julie's.
Yep. Splat Julie's.
Yeah, haven't seen her play too much in Splatoon 2, but she was a very capable Neo Splash main in Splat 1.
I feel like she'll be very happy when the Neo Splash does finally come out, but I did see Calamar Cat the last, when we recently faced Riptide, making great use of both the Tenatech, going back and forth between either the Tenatech and the regular Splash-O-Matic. Well, let's not get too caught up in analysis because we've got Part-Time Pirates has made a good first push and they're going to get some points very quickly. The zone is going to be capped in Riptide's favour, but good positioning here. Neither team is really making any big significant risks, which is a good thing to see.
Still a 3v4, very, very much a neutral game at the moment, but I'm actually getting a bit of lag on my end.
I'm actually finding it very difficult to follow what's going on.
Australian internet, ladies and gentlemen. I believe...
Okay.
Awesome, no worries.
Well, let's see if we can do our best to follow on. At this point, there has been a slight lead gone in favour of Part-Time Pirates, which they're still doing a fairly good job hanging on to. Ace is using Sniper and getting a good bomb rush on zone, which is going to allow them to keep it for a little bit longer. Riptide now passing and taking the lead, which is good.
Yeah, actually, that bomb rush plus splashdown able to pretty much recap that zone and keep the scoreboard pressure on Part-Time Pirates.
Yeah, which is good because that's the really tough thing is you do want to play patiently on this map, but you also don't want to let the lead get too far away from you because it's very easy for the opposing team to recap the zone. Both teams are playing a fairly smart game at this point because I haven't seen more than 2 players go down from either team. Having said that, just now Part-Time Pirates go 3 players down with Jackie being the only one alive. She retreats a fair way back into the spawn. Needs to not let this get any worse because this could be damage control if they lose any more players. 1 player going down for Riptide. And now Bomb Rush coming out from Jackie. Jackie doing a good job trying to cap the zone for a team. Not actually going to be able to cap the zone, though it's still ticking down past 40 points. They're going to get the cap now, though, thanks to Chris, and a couple of kills on the right-hand side. So now it's Part-Time Pirates' chance to push in. That's 3 players going down now for Riptide. All right, they need to push up and establish some good positions, which they are starting to do.
Now it's time for Part-Time Pirates to establish more turf control and not let Riptide back in this.
Yep, that's going to be 2 players going down for Part-Time Pirates, though, so a good opportunity for Riptide to get back into this match, which they are starting to do, moving back towards the zone. It looks like they're going to cap it about 5 points before Part-Time Pirates were able to take the lead, and they are going to do so.
Yep, definitely timely with the putting the penalty back on, but I think Calamar Cat with the Julie's doing some work. I think Riptide should be able to get rid of this penalty. But whether or not they're able to be aggressive enough to get some of that down, we'll have to see.
Yeah. kind of tough to make callouts of screenshots, but we're doing our best, folks. Calamar doing some good work in the central mid zone, going to put down some more missiles on the opposing team to apply some pressure. They're going to keep that zone capped. I think it was momentarily capped in Part-Time Pirates' favor. It's not a very big penalty. It's only 25 points in perhaps about 15 seconds. Part-Time Pirates has taken control, gotten one or two splats against Riptide, and is putting some ink down on the zone. It's going to be capped against them. They really need to not focus on the zone at this point. They need to move up, put some turf down, and get some kills because they're not going to be able to whittle that penalty down in an instant just by out-turfing.
Yeah. Riptide actually going to get rid of their penalty, getting 3 people down and leaving Jackie on her own. So we'll see Part-Time Pirates if they're able to retake this one. Chris gets one on Hero on the left side. Riptide actually keeping this counter ticking down. Suction Bomb Rush coming out, and that's going to be a retake for Part-Time Pirates.
Yep, good timing for the suction rush there. And that was 2 players going down at one point for Riptide. Riptide just needs to play it smart and not go charging into the zone like Condown did just then. 1 player going down for both sides. Ace setting up with another bomb rush. Yeah, this is probably going to cap the zone back again in their favor. Yep, going to get 1 splat and cap the zone again.
Good timing with 10 seconds to go as this slideshow continues. We have Ace still with the sniper. Still, I don't think he's moved. I actually don't think he's moved apart from left and right strafing, and that is going to, believe it or not, be game.
Yep, solid game there from Riptide. What they did most effectively was they continued to focus on holding the zone and not just going back in to cap it to stop the penalty from going down. They had the concentration to know that they needed to start getting more points to increase their lead and make it a sure victory, and they did a good job of that.
Yeah, Ace and Conjan topping the score sheets for Riptide with 8. Chris actually getting 15. I wonder how many of those were armor assists. But
yeah, I would take that with about the biggest shovel assault you'd take. Perhaps not as big as a splatter shovel, but big enough. Yes, that's unfortunately true, Marks. We are a first world country with worse than third world internet. I think Romania has better internet than us. Isn't that what iNet's always been telling us?
Yeah, New Zealand has better internet.
And everyone says that New Zealand is like a smaller and not quite as good. Yeah, I don't think so.
Much more progressive. The stream health currently, unfortunately, not very healthy, according to Twitch.
Yeah.
Well,
Indeed,
Roger,
we
if you
were.
still needed a third, I'm here now.
Third.
Hello.
Hello, Otter.
Good day. I was wondering if I could possibly jump onto this thing. It had a little lock on it, but I was like, what if I try clicking on it? And now I'm here.
Well, if you don't mind having more commentators than frames per second, then I'm sure that the stream will be fine. But
I've been on the same frame for about 3 seconds now, actually. So.
it's going to be interesting. It's sort of like commentating over screenshots, and you just sort of have to adapt to it as time goes on and so on. Blakes.
Game just started. Game saved.
Mine's on the ready screen.
I'm going to do a quick refresh and then I'll catch up with you.
Me too. I'll refresh quickly.
Yeah, it looks smooth again. With Team 2. Ready? Go.
Oh, here we go. The game's already started.
Game has started, and we will see a very long-range comp plus a junior come out from Part-Time Pirates. So we have Julie Sculptures, Splattershot Pro, and the 5-pin Splatterscope, along with a Splattershot Junior. We have Calamar Cat now on the heavy Splatling. We have ANZ Carbon Roller, I believe, and a tentative Splattershot. Carbon Roller, not something you particularly see in the meta these days, but can still be effective if you're sharpening well enough.
Yeah, if you've got the turf coverage to be able to actually get close enough to people who go kills, which these days is even more point blank than it ever has been. Good kill, they're going to die to the Splat Bomb, Konjan, and Part-Time Pirates is going to make a push back into the zone with 2 players left. Both teams going to get a good cap, and Ace is going to try and go for a flank down this left-hand side, doing what most people try to do. Coming back, activating armor. Jackie is now just keeping an eye on the flanks, making sure there's no one coming over. Doing a good job in very aggressive position if she's going to get taken out by that person she might have heard before. Hero getting a nice double split through, and that's going to be 3 players going down for part-time pirates and a lot of Vink down in their base.
What time are you at?
I'm at 3:30.
Oh my god.
I'm at 3:33. No wonder. I was wondering.
10 seconds behind.
Okay, so in an interesting turn of events, I'm now the person furthest ahead.
15?
Yep, 3:15, 14, 12.
Looks like part-time pirates has got an instorm on the zone, but will be enough to claim it.
Look, it's not going to be enough to claim it, unfortunately. That's going to be the counter still ticking down. And again, points being applied very effectively here by Riptide. Riptide are doing a very good job of actually applying points. And that's 2 players going down and not really enough hustle from part-time pirates to be able to stop an extra 10 points going onto the counter. They haven't even capped the zone yet. They really need to do that right now. Bomb Rush is going to help do that. And it's time to get some bombs down and start applying some control over the other side.
Now the armor comes out, but... Yeah, we have the chicken bombs actually, but that's going to be a nice cleanup for part-time pirates. They're actually going to get 3 now. Unfortunately, 1 person behind them, Udon, fantastic reactions. Able to get that splat along with the assistance of 1 other part-time pirate, as it's going to be another retake job for Riptide.
Yeah, you just saw a classic. You just saw a classic Splattershot Junior quad assist, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to Karma.
Oh, actually, Konjan not respecting the range of the part-time pirates there.
Not respecting the range or the aim. That was a very nice shot there by Jackie. And again, going back up into that same position, I think, with Ink Armor. The counter is now ticking down dangerously close to that point. I think this is going to be taking the lead from part-time pirates.
Oh,
no, it's going to be stopped at 1 point just before they're going to get the reverse tap. Nice. Nice.
Riptide coming up clutch there, able to apply the penalty and keep it on 16 with the 1 point lead. Jackie now with the suction bomb rush with the fire fin. Unfortunately not able to get any headway into getting a splat, but takes out a sprinkler. And unfortunately has to retreat. Kalmar Cat Stingray doing very good work getting her to retreat. As that's now a retake for part-time pirates.
Yep, good turfing ability. They only were able to get 1 kill, but they were still able to outpaint, doing a good job. Udon's going to get a nice trade there on Konjan. That's 2 players going down for Riptide, so this is an advantage for them. I'd like to see Chich pushing up a little bit, getting some more turf down in the street, putting some ink up on that snipe. That's good, that's good. Moving over towards his left-hand side, all players are taking up the position, and it's going to be a 4v4 in Riptide Street very soon. Moving over to Hero's side, he's going to go for a flank over these right grates and try and put some turf down on this right-hand side. Going to activate armor and get into the zone. Again, only a few points away from before part-time pirates were able to take the lead. They almost got rid of the penalty.
Fantastic from Hero to get 1. Unfortunately, gets traded out there. Jackie is still struggling to stay up on this snipe area, getting pressured by a combination of things.
Yeah. Look, the trouble is, as a sniper, if you're going to be predictable, that's fine, as long as you can hit your shots. But if you're going to get pressured out of the point if you have to keep going to that same position. With only 15 seconds left, it's going to be difficult. Part-time pirates do have the zone. They do manage to get 1 splat there, and they've got a good amount of turf control. Hopefully they're able to keep control of it. Udon getting out of a bad situation, and 2 players going down now for Riptide. With only 3 seconds left to go, there's only 10 points left until they finish with their penalty. Are they going to be able to take the lead? We see Chris putting in some good work, just controlling the tips, and that's going to be the armor coming up for Riptide, and it's going to be stopped at just 1 point beforehand. He's going to go down on the zone, and that's going to be, I think, a cap in favour of Riptide. They're going to take control just 1 point before victory.
Yep, just a single point after penalty. Twice. Riptide coming out clutch so many times.
What a beautiful push-up here.
Riptide showing fantastic composure under a lot of pressure. No less than 3 times were they very close to losing the lead in that match, and every single time they showed the determination and the grit to be able to patiently charge specials and go back in. And again, charging an ink armor and having an ink jet at the ready to be able to go in and take down 2 or 3 players is very smart plays there from Riptide. Perhaps a bit more experience.
Yeah, unfortunately with part-time pirates team composition, the only one who could really go forward of center was the junior, the Splattershot Pro and the Julie Squelchers, both with point sensors, unable to really sort of force Riptide out of position. So it sort of let Riptide back in, but let's not discredit Riptide from the amazing job that they did for retaking
Oh.
the zone many times.
Of course not. I would say that I did see part-time pirates a lot of the time having good turf control inside that street area of like Riptide Street, but I never actually saw, like you say, anyone pushing up to the edge of the zone. They just seemed apprehensive. Where Riptide, they waited for Riptide to come in, and Riptide probably has the skills advantage over the frontline players for part-time pirates. So they really need to be pressing their turf advantage and moving up a little bit more. And getting a good position on Riptide, perhaps.
Yeah, sort of going back to my earlier point on the Kelp Dome match, like you have a sort of lead to work with, and Riptide pushed it to the absolute maximum in terms of how long they could take before they could retake the zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you saw, yeah, just building up specials and able to retake as a team. Works a charm.
Alright. Oh, here's the up back. Well, the Scrim goes for me again. I think it's tower control, though.
It
is tower control. So we're starting. Ready? Go. 4:59 on that.
I'm at 4:45.
Okay, well, it looks like we've changed places now, so Gabe, please take the front seat.
No worries. We got Chris on the Splattershot Pro, able down. Unfortunately, part-time pirates still not taken the tower. Still at 100 and 100 for both teams. We can see a trade there from Calamar Cat with part-time pirate. Hero trying to use this rapid blaster on the curved surface, but Tri-Slosher may get the better of them. No, not quite. As part-time pirates has actually finally taken the tower. Not quite at the first checkpoint yet, but it's with all of Riptide behind it. I think they're gonna.
Yeah, strange plays there from the Tri-Slosher. I definitely would have liked to have seen, a bit more aggression. Like Rapid Blaster is not a terrifying weapon at close range. You really, if you've got the turf advantage and you've already gotten a hit or two on them, you really want to be sort of chasing after them if you know where they are.
Yep, we got the armor coming up from Chich. No, not Chich. He's got 10 missiles. Riptide now going to be on the back foot. Unfortunately, unable to take Hero out with the Rapid Blaster, as now part-time pirates are finally at the checkpoint, a minute and a half into the game. But Riptide able to get rid of that early ascendancy. Now on the counter push, Kongjan on the tower momentarily. I'd like to see a bit more push and splashdown any moment. There we go, Kongjan almost gets a kill. But anyway, Riptide able to get rid of that lead that part-time pirates had very quickly. Still on the checkpoint. Unfortunately, losing the tower, which means we'll have to go through that checkpoint all over again. And I think part-time pirates will be ready for a counter push.
Yep, this is that was 3 players going down, I think, for Riptide. Jack on this left-hand side using Tri-Slosher this match. Probably an interesting choice. Maybe gives them a little bit more frontline power this time. There's going to be a Stingray coming up from Riptide, which is going to effectively stop the tower because it is Whale 2.0 now, thanks to the extra shockwaves. That's going to be 2 players going down again, or 1 player going down, rather. No, 2 players going down for Riptide, and that's going to be the start of another push for part-time pirates. It's only at 70 points. If they can push past this first checkpoint, that would be
good work from Kongjan in the middle, actually able to get 2 from part-time pirates, as Calamar Cat trying to go to work on this tower in the middle. Actually dodge rolls all the way over the tower.
Yeah, Kongjan actually able to get 3 players on that push, so very good work there.
We've got a chicken bomb near the tower, but Riptide. I'd like to see someone go around there and definitely clear out that hump. Unfortunately, that's actually a full wipe for Riptide. So part-time pirates with all of their just pure DPS. And now armor coming out. This should be the lead for part-time pirates, I believe. Oh no!
Yeah, look. Jackie's going to activate Ink Hunter and is still going to continue to push for her team. Neither team is really putting down confident turf control on those left-hand sides, and it just seems like trades back and forth as soon as it goes anywhere near that first hump. So that's a sign that both teams are not doing a particularly good job of clearing it actually making it safe and secure for their teammates to push the tower. So they really need a little bit more coordination from both teams, like either team really, if they want to get a push going. The Stingray is proving very useful for Riptide to be able to stop. There's going to be one person going in to take out the Stingray user, which is going to successfully happen. 2 players going down for Riptide, and Jackie putting down some good turf on this top mid position. They are finally going to take the lead.
I'm at 43 seconds,
Yep,
so
that's fine. You're a little bit ahead of me, so I'll put it there.
All right.
That's not how I've been saying anything.
Anyway, Conjan's gonna do a bit more work in the roller in the close combat. No, unfortunately gets taken out by Part-Time Pirate as Ace now with the Stingray out, able to get one. Yes, gets Jackie. This tower is at 69 for Riptide. Fortunately, with 10 seconds to go, I'm not sure if they'll be able to get the numbers to push this any further. As I say that, they actually get 2, and we've got missiles from Chich coming out. Oh, the missiles from Death gets 2, and Jackie with the Tri-Slosher able to clean up anyone going near the tower. And that is actually going to be game to Part-Time Pirates. A bit of chaos in there. Unfortunately, with our stream delays and whatnot, I believe it's just the end of the game for you, Siki.
Yes.
And that is just the end of the game for me. So, look, this is just going to have to be the way that it is. Really unfortunate that even though there were only 4 missiles, they were all going to the tower or near the tower. So anyone going near that tower to try and get on it before the counter went to 0, they were going to die, unfortunately. So, nice, lucky 10 missiles. Probably the luckiest missiles I've seen in some time, but nice nevertheless. A good game there from both teams. Going back and forth with each other.
Oh yeah, they did such a good job of defending the tower. How far did any of them get? Like, I don't think anybody reached the second checkpoint, did they?
The furthest push was just past the first checkpoint at 51 from Part-Time Pirates, so no. They both suffered from the same issue, I think, which was clearing out that snipe hill. Really, both teams, neither team made a really good job of cleaning that snipe out. Even on the successful push, it was only because they had a numbers advantage.
That Stingray really did a number on that tower. Just when we thought they were getting past the first checkpoint, Stingray.
Yeah.
I really love this new thing though.
It's definitely stronger than it was. Still not an offensive special, I feel, because obviously you're taking yourself out of the game to activate something that doesn't kill quite as quickly, but a very good defensive special, and especially for tower control.
Oh no, yeah, as we saw, somebody, RT, I think, was it Ace? I can't remember. But they got stuck in mid trying to stay with the tower and almost got flanked themselves. But I think they managed to get whoever it was with those shockwaves.
Yeah, that was. And again, that was just because Jackie was already backing. That was Jackie getting taken out because she was already backing up from being from facing against the Tenatech that came to protect Ace.
Just started.
Okay, I'm way behind.
I'm way behind as well.
I'm going to try refresh. In the meantime, again, Gabe, you're going to have to take the shotgun.
Are you watching the Super Secret stream or the other one?
Super secret stream at this point.
Okay.
It's
Well, game has started. We're on Kelp Dome and it is tower control again. We see Chich going for the no ink flank. Unfortunately, gets spotted out straight away, and Calamar Cat, fight number 1 to her. Hero gonna get second, so that should be tower for Riptide. Underneath there is a blaster which Hero needs to watch out for. Spots that out straight away. Able to call that out. Unfortunately, not able to get this. As Udon actually gets the nice direct Luna on Hero. So, Part-Time Pirates time to counter push now. They will take the lead. But however, I believe there is a Stingray on offer. Udon able to get the splat. No, gets tap shotted by Ace. Fantastic work by.
I love me a good tap shot, and that was fairly impressive to take down a Luna that had baller, keeping in mind, and you had Stingray, so really nice work there from Ace. Quick time check. I'm at 3:58, 3:57,
53.
Okay, it looks like a much closer.
Couple of seconds. Yep. Riptide actually doing a lot of work here, getting that streak cleared. Tenta missiles coming out, able to dodge the tower ones. Calamar Cat not there we go. Cleaned up by Hero. As this is going to move into the street area now, going to the home stretch. Part-Time Pirates only have one up active at the moment as the Splatter Shot throw.
Yeah, really effective use of the Stingray. You're already seeing it's like a killer whale, but it lasts much longer. Very good use there from, not sure who was calling that out. It might have been Ace. Part-Time Pirates is still 2 or 3 players down while Riptide are pushing, and it's going to be the stop of the tower at 4 points, but they've already pushed past both checkpoints, so
Cat
really...
almost able to do a cat dance on the tower as Riptide actually have the numbers now, 3v2. Conjan doing heaps of work and actually ballers to victory there. Great vertical flicks from Conjan. Takes a fair bit of skill to get the vertical flick off on the roller. And actually effectively able to just 1v2 Part-Time Pirates there at the end.
That game was over well before we could probably get a decent handle on what was happening. It looked like Part-Time Pirates had a good semblance of control at the start, and then from that point on, it just sort of steamrolled thanks to the Stingray. I mean, if the Stingray's been popped and it's just firing down that lane, there's really no point trying to go straight over that ramp. Honestly, you're better off just trying to accept that you've lost a lot of points.
One of Part-Time Pirates did have the right idea, trying to go over to the window, but unfortunately got spotted out very quickly. Yeah, sort of in that situation, it's actually quite hard. All you can really do is just lob bombs and hope for the best.
And also, I will notice this too with Blaster mains, or Luna and perhaps Tri-Slosher mains too. Even if you have a weapon like Luna that's a very reliable 2-hit KO, you should still be aiming as though you want to get a direct. And you could see that when Morale came out of the baller, he was just sort of going for a double shot, but he missed his second shot because the Charger knew to get as close as they possibly could. To just do some tap shots. You do still need to play as though you could lose any match that you're playing against someone. It's not worth being relaxed, because it could result in you losing the opportunity to push, which was what happened for Part-Time Pirates.
I am good for another 10 minutes, I'd say. Hang on. Riptide. Are we? Yeah, I can do the last 2 matches of Riptide versus Part-Time Pirates.
Also, my apologies for calling out Morwell. I meant the whoever was using the Lunar Blaster on Part-Time Pirates' side.
I believe it was Udon.
Udon.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got commentary explained.
It's late on a Sunday night. We all want to just chill.
Anyway, Manta Maria is Rainmaker now.
Yep, same maps as before. So 4:55 is my time check. 4:54, 53.
50, 49, just a couple of seconds to be done.
Okay, sounds good. Looks like we're going to see a fairly stable rollout from both teams. Both teams got 1 or 2 players up on their bunker. I'm just trying to put down some ink, laying it down in the mid zone. I see a fairly balanced team composition from both teams. This is going to be probably a case of skill and positioning. That's going to be 2 players going down at the start though for Riptide, 1 on each side. And there's going to be the start of a push. There's 2 players over on that behind spot. They're going to go for the more aggressive push down through the sneak. It's not going to pay off, but they're going to get to 47 points. So not a bad push, but definitely not a winning push on this map.
Yeah, Part-Time Pirates actually going 3 down there after that initial push. So we'll see if Riptide are able to make use of this. Alacat whispering sweet nothings in areas. Conjan actually doing a bit of work with the roller. Jackie actually ballering all the way to the Rainmaker. Rainmaker having to retreat. Oh no.
Rainmaker is able to all the...
That's a fantastic escape from the Rainmaker holder Calamar Cat.
Yep, Jackie knew what she was trying to do. She was going to try and get the 50 damage from the bumping and then activate the baller, but they're able to get around the corner too quickly, and that's going to be 2 players going down there for Riptide. Has advantage in favor of Part-Time Pirates and turf control in mid. They just need to play it smart.
It was actually a wipe for Riptide, so now they've got... Part-Time Pirates actually going to push this through. No, stops at 40. Udon trying to get a little more done. Runs into Calamar Cat with the splat dualies.
Yep, just not enough awareness to know that the Rapid Blaster was waiting up there for them, and just concentrating a little bit too on the bottom side. Again, that's just a little bit of patience, maybe fire off 1 or 2 shots on those key areas where there might be someone. and then pushing forward. Regardless, it's a good opening from here. The only people to push it at all, and we're almost halfway through this match, has been Part-Time Pirates, and they've had most of the turf control in mid.
Yeah, no points on the board yet for Riptide, and she's getting missile at the moment. Unfortunately, we're getting a moving slideshow as at the end of it, Calamar Cat dies to some tender missiles. Part-Time Pirates now with the 3 squid advantage again. They're going to pop it. Are they going to try and go over this one again? There's one in Riptide on the bunker. Jackie goes for the Hail Mary, goes down.
Look, that's a situation I don't really understand why Jackie would do that. Look, they had the numbers advantage, and they really should have just pressed that. That's going to be a full wipe, though, for Riptide. Looks like they got a little bit overzealous and flanked, perhaps, by one of the other players. This is going to be points. This is going to be a very good put. Oh, no.
No.
Ignore me completely, please, Part-Time Pirates.
Someone else is there. Conjan with the roller coming up clutch again. Part-Time Pirates still with Rainmaking control. And that's going to be just the Rapid Blaster of Hero up for Riptide. They actually got it to 1. I'm surprised.
That's an impressive pull.
We need some T2ers in chat. Now Riptide trying to get it through this left side of Part-Time Pirates. Ace plots out the brush just running across. Unfortunately, not able to get one. Baller pressure now. Brush pressure. Ace is somehow still alive with this NZAP on top of bunker.
He has armor ready, but he really doesn't
ready,
want to pop
but
it up to his teammates.
yeah, only with 2 up. Yeah.
This has just been a complete. I don't know if we're just seeing a completely different team. I feel like there's a little bit more turfing power in the composition of Part-Time Pirates, perhaps, but that doesn't really explain the fact that we've seen Riptide wipe so many times and will go to. This mid zone is just covered in Part-Time Pirates. It's a very strong presence at the moment.
I would say it's because they have an L3 with a baller in their team, but as I say, that Riptide Conjan is actually using the Kraken with baller, so
yeah,
a baller apiece.
Yeah, perhaps the combination of the Rapid and the Roller is not giving them as much turf as the 3 shooters that are on Part-Time Pirates' side, but the positioning and the control with 1 player up in the bunker, 2 players on that left-hand side fight is very good. That's going to be 1 player going down, even with ink armor on, 2 players going down, and for Part-Time Pirates, the opportunity here for a push. Jackie's going to activate a baller and take out the Rainmaker. Good timing.
That's
good timing.
Baller use there. Hero, unfortunately, the only one up in the mid. It's a Splat Bomb rush. Along with Ace, no! Sometimes you just gotta hang on to it for a little bit, and unfortunately, Hero.
That was so bad. He got 2 people with his bomb rush as a result of popping the Rainmaker. He was in a really dangerous position. He knew there was someone up on their bunker, or rather, it should have been fairly easy to see there was someone up on the bunker. And he had a couple of teammates coming in, so it would have been much safer for him to just wait a little bit for his teammates and just have a bit of patience there from Hero. But a very convincing win in favour of Part-Time Pirates. I don't think it pushed past 90 points for Riptide in the end of that game.
Yeah,
Some fantastic turf control in mid for the Part-Time Pirates. I noticed that PTP Sitch a lot was like staying back for a lot of the pushes once they had the advantage and just keeping a whole lot of turf on the middle. And
yeah, he was essentially backline armor farmer, which effectively worked out quite well with the L3 pretty much up front with baller and killing bombs.
Yeah, the L3 does. This is something that's often overlooked. It outranges and it easily out-turfs a lot of the other mid-range shooters. So, except for perhaps possibly the mini Splatling, it's probably the strongest in terms of turfing game. And once the L3 was up on those grates and putting some turf down on both sides, the map was just completely painted in Part-Time Pirates' colour for most of that match.
Yeah, that's the first real sort of blip that we've seen from Riptide in this Scrim set. Conjan not quite being able to do the work that he did previously with the roller. Maybe it's because he changed it up to the one with the baller, but I think they just need to go back to basics and get the turf control again.
Oh, I don't think it's rip tied just yet. It's not even just rip tied because they can't just be tied. So we're going to be moving into what I think is the last match of this scrim.
Yep, it's the second Rainmaker match, which is going to be the Reef.
Yeah, it is indeed the Reef.
Oh.
Yeah, Otto, you start off with this one.
Oof. Well, this one, really tricky stage because there's that one side alleyway that I'm sure we've all gotten screwed over at some point down the right side of our bases. You could either go the midway or that way, and I feel like it's always really important to get some turf down on that right side alleyway. I haven't actually seen on the stream if anybody has done that, but
we had one earlier. I think it was Pallet and HC going down the alleyway, getting it all the way to 15, but unfortunately Roxy, I think, counter pushed basically through their main and the ramp and was able to knock it out.
well, here's the aforementioned alleyway push, but they only get it just to 76, which is the entrance to that alleyway, so not a very hard one to come back from. And
yeah, it's definitely not over until that Rainmaker is sitting right on top of the podium.
I feel like Konjan might have slightly mistimed the push forward, was really pushing up with no teammates coming behind him with the Rainmaker. Nevertheless, it paves the way for a really good push up through that mid side. It's going to 50 points now. Hero realizing that he's not going to be able to go that way and he's going to get taken out very quickly. Two players going down for Riptide, and Part-Time Pirates has the opportunity to put down some turf and start a push of their own.
Yeah, he actually retreated back to mid, which basically allows Part-Time Pirates now to establish turf control whilst popping the Rainmaker. Chich actually getting 2 off on the Temper Missiles on the tree. Let's see if Hero's able to get the splat with the Rapid Blaster. No. Actually, Hero now just bomb rushing from that side. The Rainmaker actually resets in middle.
Strange things are happening, people. Part-Time Pirates doesn't look like they've really pushed forward and put some turf down, particularly on that left-hand side. The Dually Scorcher isn't stronger than the Rapid Blaster when the Rapid has the turf control. And Hero did a good job of just holding that right-hand side down, putting some bomb rushes down. It's a bit of a stalemate game at the moment, but I'm seeing most of this map is still in favour. Would still be, I'd say, in favour of Riptide.
Yeah, Chich trying to make Dually Scorchers happen. I'm not sure if he will be the pioneer of the change in the meta, but we have one from Part-Time Pirates going down. That is the armor. A fantastic snipe on just peeping out was Udon, and Ace able to get that snipe. He was up to the task.
That's the wisdom of knowing choke points where people are going to pop out and just waiting for the time.
Yes. I think one of Riptide has taken Rainmaker and gone ahead of everyone. Unfortunately, that's going to be swift exit for him, as Konjan actually... yes, fantastic work. Gets 2. They're able to pop this Rainmaker, I believe, and push up alley. They need someone to move up into their car, which is Konjan, who's going to get there. But no, unfortunately, gets taken down. Before he can do the splashdown. As Calamar Cat actually taking it all the way up to 20 points. And it's going to be stuck in there in Part-Time Pirates Alley for the time being.
Yeah, look, good push. If they can keep turf control, it'll be... that is a winning push. But if they don't continue to play aggressively, they'll see that Rainmaker coming back very quickly towards their own side.
Yeah, Jackie actually doing nice work, juking around the car, able to get 1 or 2. It's just Ace, he should really retreat before he gets splattered. It's Jackie able to get that one. I think they're going to take it down their alley. Yep, Part-Time Pirates are just going to go straight for a beeline down their alley. They got 2 and 3 for Ripside. Got an Inkjet going. Chich unfortunately stuck in ink. No, it gets helped out. We have an Inkjet now down the alley. No, gets stuck in ink. Hero there with a Rapid Blaster able to just fire down there. I always like to go the left side of car, to be honest. But
yeah,
that's just me.
Such a close miss out there from their part. What I really noticed was that Chich didn't actually let off a Rainmaker shot up onto that sniper area, where usually people camp if they're going down that right-hand side of the car, as you say. Would have been nice to see that, and they probably would have gotten the lead off that, but as it stands, it's still a very close match, and it's not over yet.
No, it is not. Kalmar Cat with the Rainmaker going down. Konjan actually trying to get as much turf as he can in his own base. Actually spots one, gets one. It was Chris trying to shark on the home stretch for the Rainmaker. Konjan under a little bit of pressure sees Hero die right in front of him, and I think Jackie is going to go on hunt. No! Konjan, fantastic splashdown right as Jackie. Great instincts there. Udon is all the way at the back with the Rainmaker. Don't retreat, the game says. It's going to go into overtime. Udon with the Rainmaker. Part-Time Pirates in control. 4v4. Are they going to take it straight down alley? There's a bit of indecision right now. Part-Time Pirates, they really need someone to go ahead. They've allowed a Stingray to be active. It's going to go right into the jaws. No! Udon fortunately goes down with the Rainmaker from the Stingray and the roller of Konjan. So Riptide able to take that 80-74.
And I think the end count for that scrim was 4-1 in favour of Riptide.
I'm not keeping track because it's not a tournament. It's a scrim. We'll focus on individual games and what people can do better. But I believe there were 6 matches. But
Okay, it's always useful though to think about perhaps think about the overall result and see where the overall strength lies. I'd say the overall strength for Riptide would have been calm under pressure. I do like that Part-Time Pirates was able to really press their advantage in one of those games on Manta Maria. Really good choice of weapons there, just out-turfing Riptide. But in most of the other games, we saw pretty effectively that Riptide were very comfortable with defending good leads once they'd gotten them.